The dovetail joint part 4. Processing the pins and fitting the joint. This is an example of the dovetail joint which we will be processing in this demonstration. These are the working drawings of the joint which you will be provided with. Processing the pins. Again, I will use a marking knife to slice across the grain on the surface of the timber when I am cutting across the grain. Next, place the piece vertically in the vise. What we want here are 4 vertical cuts down either side of the pins. Begin the cuts with 3 back strokes and remember to cut on the waist side of the line. Take your time, what we want here is accuracy. About every 4 or 5 strokes, check the opposite side of the piece to ensure you are staying on the waist side of the line. Next, we use a coping saw to cut across the grain about 5 mm above the shoulder line. Again, take your time, do not twist the blade in the cut. If you quicken the forwards and backwards motion of your sawing and slowly turn the blade, you will avoid breaking the blade. Keep a close eye on the back of the piece to ensure you don't cut into the central pin. Again, we are cutting about 5 mm above the shoulder line. We now need to remove the remaining 5mm of waste down to the shoulder line. I do this by vertically pairing. Firstly, I place a straight edged batten across the shoulder line and secure to the bench. I then vertically pair along the shoulder line using a 6mm bevel edged chisel. I pair down to about half the thickness of the piece. I then turn the piece over and repeat this process on the opposite side. If you are finding chiseling difficult, place some random cuts in the material to be removed. The pins of the dovetail are now completely processed. Fitting the joint. At this stage we have processed both pieces of the dovetail joint, but they are still not fitting together. We must offer both pieces up to each other and identify material we feel is preventing the joint from fitting together. This is completely up to your own personal judgment. The joint should not be too loose, but excessive force should not be needed to be applied either. Personally, when I want to remove material from the tails, I place it at an angle in the vise so that the side of the tail I want to remove excess waste material from is vertical, and I vertically pair thin shavings from the side of that tail. When I feel some excess material needs to be removed from the pins, I place the piece in the vise and pair vertically down the side of the pin. Try not to take too much off, as you can always take some more off, but you can't put it back on. Here we can see the completed joint as it fits together.